Hey guys, today we are going to be breaking down a big section of audio files that were found within Borderlands 3 that are most likely tied to a future DLC. We aren't sure if this exact concept, which is Barman and the Second Stars, is going to be for DLC 2 or 3, or maybe cut altogether, but it definitely seems like the audio is tied to something bigger than a holiday event or takedown. This information comes to us from friend of the channel Cruddy Borderlands Theories, who previously helped with the Doppelganger DLC video I made before the DLC was even announced, and this is going to be a similar situation. This DLC seems to have heavy ties to a bartender and a new group/cult in the galaxy called the Second Stars. So if this is announced, I assume it will take a name relating to one of these, either a bar-themed DLC, Second Stars-themed DLC, a lot of different ways it could go about this. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at HayderHype, go check out my second channel Fonked, and use code Hayder on Scuff for 5% off your order, and as always, make sure to go check out Cruddy Borderlands Theories. And with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Let's start by saying that this will contain light spoilers if you want to be completely surprised when playing the DLC. So if you don't want to know anything else, click away now. If you're still here, I'm going to give a quick recap of this information, then we can get into the actual audio logs. So this DLC will start with the Vault Hunters traveling to a new asteroid. I'm not sure if we are traveling there just to go to this bar, or if there is a separate reason and then we end up just finding out about the bar. Once we get to the bar, we talk with the bartender, and he mentions that his son Cal has been recruited into this cult called the Second Stars. Cal is a smart boy, but who's very gullible and also has a brass hook for a hand. The bartender explains that the Second Stars started to cause trouble at the bar when they paid for their drinks with fake money, and later explains that their whole cult is built around the belief that they can think things into existence, essentially. So they thought that this fake money was real money and paid with it. Even though it was never real money, the bartender knew it wasn't real money, and they're really not fooling anyone. They're basically just living in denial with what they can do. So we are sent by the barman to get his son back and infiltrate the Second Stars. We take the fake money that was left at the bar and use it to buy our way into the initiation of the Second Stars group. When we get there, we are allowed to start these trials to see if we are worthy to join the Second Stars and are led through these trials by a recruiter. The trials also have audio that we have to survive in fire by believing we can survive. Instead, we find a switch below the trial, turn it off, and are accused of cheating by the recruiter. I assume we eventually fight him, but not before he tells us that his boss is actually a Vault Hunter as well. In closing out, there are also a few voice lines from a new medic/salesman character as well. I will note that I have removed some of the more spoiler-heavy audio, so you will just have to wait to the final release to see what happens, but let's get into the audio.
The Second Stars are either genius scam artists or insane idiots. They lure in gullible fools by telling them if you believe hard enough, your believings become real, you ken? Ever since the Second Star gang took control of the cavern, I've told Cal to stay around the dry dock for safety. I can't be watching him all day. My punch slinging is all that keeps us with a roof over our heads. It's my lad Cal. He's run off. You must find him for me. I'd go myself, but my patrons always require new concoctions to salve their woes. Cal's the daydreaming type, always tinkering with gears and gadgets. Brilliant boy. Trouble is, he's gullible. Tell him there's soda pop at the bottom of a well and he'll jump before you say what flavour. Not surprised Cal swallowed that gang's elixir of lies. Boy's got a whole universe of imaginings in his head. You've got to get him out of there. He's the one with the brass hook on his hand. It is as I feared. I should have run those saccharine swindlers off this asteroid long ago, and now they've lured away my precious son with their snake oil. That's Cal's workshop. Spends most of his time there. See if he left any clues as to where he might have gone. Doom! The ashen taste of doom is upon my tongue, and it was I who mixed its foul cocktail. Will you help me, wandering stranger? The Second Stars have been running their recruitment at the old doll silo by the docks. Those corporate bunkers are nearly impenetrable. You'll have to convince them you want to join up. Here, this should get you in. I kicked them all out after they settled their tabs with this bogus cash. They looked at me like I was the crazy one. They believed it was real money. Use that as an entry fee, and they'll think it's a mountain of cash.
What's that? You ain't gonna bark in my ear every half minute. Say it ain't so.
Clap, clap, new kid. I don't know you, but our boss man says a fresh face is always welcome in the second stars, as long as you brought something for our donation box. Hachi machi, that's a ton of cash. Boss man is gonna love this. Application accepted. Come on in for your initiation trials. Hey, something's fishy. No one has that much money lying around. You're one of those fakey fake vault thieves. Application unaccepted. Second stars? Clap this sucker! Think you're so clappin' badass, don't you? You want to get to me, you gotta go through imagination trials. Our boss man is a real vault hunter, and he designed it himself. No way a fakey fake claphead like you can make it through. Ha! See? You're just another clap for brains vault thief trying to play with the big kids. I was getting worried there for a second, but now I know you're doomed. The last trial is the Thresher of Bravery. Boss man says second stars aren't afraid of nothing. Not like scaredy cat vault hunters. Sucker! Only true believers can survive the flames. Vault thieves only believe in themselves. Hey, get out of there! Only our boss man and the mechanic go down there. Cheater! Hey! You can't use that! We only flip that for real initiates! Cheat! You're a clappin' cheater! Don't you dare pull that switch, cheater! Boss man says that's for believers! Real believers! Stop it! You're not believing, you're just cheating! You'll never be a second star like us! You'll never be one of us! Never! I'll clap you myself!
Well, howdy there, big spender. Could I interest you in some medical supplies at more than fair market rates? As rationally determined by supply and demand, of course. Maybe you don't want to help those poor people back at the hospital. Well, that's between you and whatever morality you cling to. Got nothing to do with me.
Those are the best! Look at me! I think I'm a god!
Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. I'm the guy who's got what you need. And I'm the only supplier for your demand. That's basic economics, kiddo. Now are you buying or not? It has been just such a pleasure doing business with you. The chest is all yours. And do come back whenever you're in desperate need.
Now, we don't get any audio from the boss themselves or Cal, but this does seem like a very interesting DLC. Usually, each DLC is tied to a mainstay character. Like the past DLC we had, it was Moxie and the Handsome Jackpot. But I'm not sure which character this exact DLC will tie to, so we'll just have to wait and see if there is a character that maybe knows the bartender, or even someone who knows the Vault Hunter enemy that we will be going up against. I was thinking maybe Zane, but usually they don't give the characters we play as their own DLC. As for release date, I said that this could be the second DLC or even the third DLC. If this is the second expansion, Gearbox announced they are going to reveal it at PAX East at the end of February, but I wouldn't expect it to be released till late March, early April. Obviously, that's just a guess, but I'm assuming if they reveal it at the end of February, probably at least a month for people to pre-order and to hype it up before they actually give it to us. Gearbox just gave us the Broken Hearts event, and they are probably going to keep the same pattern with every single wave of content they do. So I assume we will see a new manufacturer takedown between the Broken Heart event and DLC 2. So we'll see this takedown and then we'll get a DLC. So what I think is going to happen is they are going to reveal the DLC at the end of the month at PAX East. And while they don't give us the DLC, I expect them to say that the takedown will be going live soon. So we can play that in anticipation for the new DLC. Obviously, these DLCs will be priced at $15 unless you bought the season pass. And one last thing I want to say is it feels very reminiscent to the Moxie's Wedding Day Massacre Headhunter pack, but definitely on a much larger scale. I just kind of get that vibe from everything we've seen so far. That's where I'm going to end this video though. Make sure to like and share, subscribe for weekly Borderlands news, and I will see you guys in the next one.